I'm Shelley Branston, and I lead the retail industry team at Salesforce, and I'm really privileged to be here with Erwin Hinteregger, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of Aldo. I am wearing my Aldo shoes today.
Good, I'm
They're
too.
good. Those are
too.
really good looking. So Erwin, tell everyone about Aldo.
Well, Aldo has been around since about 40 years, 44 years exactly. He was founded by Aldo Ben-Sadon, and he set out to create a different kind of company, what he calls a people company, very much focused on values. And our three core values that really drive everything we do is love, respect, and integrity. Today we are a big international company. We operate in about 100 markets.
So as the CMO, that's got to be complicated to bring all of that together and make it just feel like Aldo.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
It's really putting the consumer's lens at the center of everything we do. It starts about really understanding the consumer and who we're going after, really, and who we're not going after, which then informs everything we do, from what the brand stands for, what the brand promises, what the customer experience should look like, and what our product should be, right? To make sure it's relevant. So that's really the core of the company. And still, brick and mortar is very important, but we don't think of ourselves anymore as a retailer. Really, the mobile is the new retail, if you think about it, right? We really think of ourselves as a brand that really looks to excite and delight the consumer and the customer. And really, mobile is the gateway, if you will, to engage with them, and really is at the core of this new ecosystem to connect with them.
I think, we're hearing that the CMO is going to outspend the CIO on technology. Yeah. So how do you think about bringing technology in, given that your brand is really about these more human and emotional values?
Yeah, I look at technology really as an enabler, right? It's not the end game, it's an enabler. If it doesn't add to the conversation, add to what the consumer's really interested in, it's really useless.
Right.
And what happens is really the consumer says, mobile is my means to communicate with the outer world around, even with their friends, right? They share a lot of their personal activities, what they do, and so on and so forth. So it's a relative natural mechanism, I think, to connect with them, but ultimately it's not the mobile that's important, it's the content, it's the conversation, it's the story, right? And that we are able to tell, and that's really relevant to the consumer, right? And that's really, I would say, the focus within the technology at the end of the day, not to lose it.
The technology can help you be more relevant to that specific shopper. It's a journey. I mean, we saw that 90% of the world's data has been created in the last 2 years.
Right.
But less than 1% of it is getting looked at. And I know that's a passion of yours, is figuring out how to not just have the data, but how to use it.
Yes.
And so that's how we've been working together, Salesforce and Aldo.
Yeah, it's a big focus, of course, to get, I would just call it insights. No matter what, insight has been important since many decades. Yeah. Nothing new. The beauty is just today the technology allows you to give like real-time observational data. Right, and our focus has been really to connect the online and the offline. Yeah. Online is much easier because of all the digital, whatever cookies, right, consumers tracks leave behind. Yeah. But what's more difficult still is the offline part. Right. And so we put quite a bit of technology into the store through the associates, but also through other mechanisms that allow us to actually track what are they looking at and what are they actually trying on, right? So like one technology is a simple iPod in the store where the consumer comes in, I like this shoe or whatever handbag, and right there the associate will scan it, that leaves behind the digital footprint of what the consumer looked at. That's a data point. Yeah. And what we now are doing is sort of integrating that into what we call a single view of the customer, or the golden record. Right. That then allows me to mine all of this data, and really what's most important, to come up what's the right action, the right content, the right image for those different customers in their journeys, right? And really to become ultimately more personalized, more relevant.
Everyone, I think, believes conceptually in shopper and consumer engagement, but retail's about ROI and success and proving the value. Yeah. How do you prove the value? How have we proven the value together?
That's ultimately that's the name of the game, right? Right. You gotta make money. If it doesn't make money, it's not worth doing it. So one big mantra for us is really to measure everything. Right. Really what I call just simple measurability. Right. Everything we spend needs to be measured. If you can measure it, don't do it. Very simple. Right. So it has to have a KPI, it has to be measured. And so some examples here, of course, in the digital world is much easier because an email I can measure.
Right.
We've seen some great success, like initially when we put on even to start with you guys to work on, we also reworked entirely what's our contact strategy.
Right.
We are just sending too many emails, and we reduced by about 40%, and we saw a lift of up to 70% in revenues, right?
So you reduced email by 40%, and then you got a 70% increase in revenue?
Yeah, and those are low-hanging fruits, right? It's really understanding the consumer again. A lot about was, in that case, zero technology. It was really talking to the consumers, how often you want to be hearing about us.
Right.
And what type of content.
Right.
And then it's pretty straightforward, you know, all this stuff which is sending is not relevant. I'm not opening it.
Right.
Actually, we send me less stuff, more relevant, and it's more personalized, right? And with the right frequency, depending the journey those different customers are on, wow, I'm maybe more engaged with it.
Yeah,
and that's
I mean,
exactly what we
no
have
one
seen.
wants more email,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
exactly right. That's exactly what we have seen. And also the technology I just mentioned with you, it's actually driving conversion.
Really?
So it's driving plus 3-4% conversion for us, right?
Wow.
And that's massive. So this
meaning
is exactly
more people are just looking
converting.
at the content and then buying.
Yes, and they're
converting.
literally converting, right?
Wow. You know, what is the future going to look like maybe for Aldo as you think about the future of your shopper and your brand?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to continue push it every day. Try new things, test, experiment, test, learn, experiment, and scale. And that's kind of how we have done a few things. With the little try-on I just explained.
Yep.
But really what we are then after is to create platforms. This is the first step to create a true consumer engagement platform with the associate, right? In this case, I use the technology that the associate can do a more effective or a more engaging job with the customer, right? The mobile app is another thing where we didn't just, we need a shopping app like everybody else had. We said we need a true engagement app that connects all the dots.
Wow.
And so we decided from the get-go that it will connect to the store from the get-go, right? So now we are rolling out, many stores already have it, basically a connection point, and when the consumer has this, the Aldo app, they come in proximity, it will connect to the store, and for example, they can send a little bing, they can choose whatever product they like, and they say, I want to try it on.
Wow.
And they show up in the store 5 minutes later, and the shoe will be on the floor, right? So those are the type of things we're trying to do, right? To connect everything, the 360 ecosystem around basically the mobile as, let's say, the central engine, if you will. But ultimately, it's all about, do the consumers like my brand, to create a brand love, right?
Right.
And am I delighting them every single time, no matter what, where they come in, call center, in the store, on the website, on the mobile side. And that's really the challenge, I guess, we are all trying to solve for.
And what I love about that, I mean, that actually feels like customer service. It would feel like
back
service.
To the basics.
Back to the basics.
Back to the basics.
But just easier.
Easy, exactly
well,
right. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us today. It was
Thank you for having me.
We're so proud to work with Aldo.
So we are. Thank you.